Welcome to today's episode, where we tackle one of the most significant transformations of our time, the geopolitics of energy in a post-Russian oil world. With the seismic shifts in global energy markets following sanctions on Russian oil and gas, the balance of power is rapidly evolving. In this video, we'll break down what this means for global trade, energy independence, and the future of sustainable power. Stay tuned to understand how these forces will impact nations, businesses, and even your personal finances. Let's get started. For decades, Russia has been one of the world's top energy exporters, supplying over 40% of Europe's natural gas and a significant share of its oil. This dominance gave Russia enormous leverage in geopolitical negotiations. However, the 2022 invasion of Ukraine marked a turning point. Western sanctions targeted Russia's energy exports, aiming to curtail its ability to finance the war. But sanctions often come with global ripple effects. Initially, Europe faced a massive energy crunch. Natural gas prices surged by over 400%, pushing inflation to record highs and raising concerns about winter shortages. But necessity is the mother of invention, and European countries rapidly diversified their energy supply. Liquefied natural gas, LNG, imports from the United States and increased renewable energy investments began to fill the gap. The European market, which once relied heavily on Russian gas pipelines, now finds itself building strategic LNG terminals and creating partnerships with North African and Middle Eastern suppliers. This diversification is reshaping energy routes and strengthening the global LNG trade. With Russia's influence waning, new players are stepping into the energy spotlight. The United States has emerged as a major LNG exporter, strengthening its energy ties with Europe and Asia. Meanwhile, Middle Eastern countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, are pivoting strategically. Saudi Arabia, long a dominant force in oil markets, has begun investing in green hydrogen technology, aiming to become a global leader in carbon-neutral energy production. The Saudi-Russian relationship within OPEC Plus remains critical, but cracks are beginning to show. Saudi Arabia's pursuit of long-term stability, balanced oil prices, and a transition to renewables stands in contrast to Russia's short-term need for cash amid sanctions. This divergence raises questions about the future cohesion of oil alliances. OPEC's future, once a cornerstone of oil market stability, is now subject to unpredictable dynamics, as competing interests among member states challenge its unity. And then, there's China. The world's largest energy importer has been buying Russian oil at a discount while simultaneously investing heavily in renewable technologies and nuclear energy. China's dual approach allows it to reduce dependence on any single energy source, positioning itself as a dominant force in the new energy landscape. Beijing's investments in electric vehicle, EV, infrastructure and solar power manufacturing capacity demonstrate a strategy focused on long-term energy security and technological supremacy. Energy is not just a commodity, it's a cornerstone of national security. Countries that depend on foreign oil and gas are vulnerable to supply disruptions and price shocks, as Europe learned firsthand. The race for energy independence is now a top priority for many nations. Governments are enacting policies that incentivize domestic production, enhance storage capacity, and promote diversification. The European Union's ambitious Green Deal aims to eliminate reliance on Russian fossil fuels while accelerating the shift to renewables. Solar, wind, and hydrogen projects are receiving record investments, transforming Europe's energy infrastructure. Offshore wind farms in the North Sea and solar power megaprojects in Spain are key pillars of this transformation, signaling a dramatic shift in Europe's energy future. In the United States, Inflation Reduction Act incentives are fueling a renewable energy boom. However, energy independence is not just about renewables. Nuclear power is making a comeback as a reliable, carbon-free source of baseload electricity. Modern small modular reactors, SMRs, offer a new path forward, promising scalability and enhanced safety. The question is, will these transitions happen fast enough to avoid future crises? And who will dominate the emerging energy market, the United States, China, or a coalition of other players? Energy infrastructure development, supply chain resilience, and technological leadership will define the winners in this new era. These seismic shifts in energy geopolitics are also reshaping global economics. When energy prices fluctuate, they send shockwaves across industries, from transportation to manufacturing to agriculture. Consider this: when oil prices surge, the cost of goods rises due to higher transportation and production expenses. Inflation spreads like wildfire, impacting consumers and businesses alike. In contrast, falling reliance on fossil fuels can stabilize economies in the long term, but the short-term transition is anything but smooth. Supply chains must be rewired, new technologies scaled, and massive capital deployed. The cost of transitioning to cleaner energy is estimated to reach trillions of dollars globally. And then there's the petrodollar system, where global oil trade has historically been priced in US dollars. As more nations trade oil in other currencies, like China's yuan or a potential BRICS currency, the dollar's dominance could weaken. This would have profound implications for American economic power and influence. Financial markets are watching closely as these dynamics evolve, with potential impacts on global trade balances and interest rates. Every geopolitical shift creates winners and losers. Countries rich in rare earth minerals, essential for renewable technology, are poised to gain tremendous influence. Chile, Australia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo are key players in the lithium and cobalt markets. As battery storage becomes a cornerstone of renewable energy systems, control over these resources will shape future power dynamics. Meanwhile, oil-dependent economies that fail to diversify risk economic stagnation or collapse. Nations like Venezuela and Nigeria are grappling with these challenges as global oil demand evolves. Without proactive reforms, these economies face growing instability as the key revenue streams dwindle. But what about Russia? Despite sanctions, it remains resource-rich. Its future hinges on whether it can pivot eastward, deepening ties with China and India, or whether it becomes increasingly isolated. Russia's investments in Arctic oil drilling and its partnership with energy-hungry developing countries could offer lifelines, but geopolitical isolation may limit its influence. Ultimately, the post-Russian oil world presents a unique opportunity to reimagine global energy. Innovation, sustainability, and strategic cooperation could lead to a more stable and prosperous future. However, this future depends on political will, technological breakthroughs, and resilient supply chains. Coordinated action on climate change and energy equity will be essential to navigating this new landscape. So, what do you think about the new geopolitics of energy? Will renewables and LNG define the future, or will fossil fuels stage a comeback? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the global forces shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.